Everyone, welcome to Education of Excellence. This is Economy Part 2 of PTC 65 provided by Vision IAS. I am Shivajit, making you a step ahead for your future dream. So, today our first topic is finance and taxation. So, under finance and taxation, the first topic is goods and service tax. I hope everyone knows goods and service tax. So goods and service tax under these, first of all, we will read something about GST or compensation says what is this. So GST compensation to states act 2017 was enacted to levy compensation says for providing compensation to the states for the loss of revenue arising on account of the implementation of GST. Now what is compensation to states? What does this mean is that जैसे कि जीएसटी आने से पहले स्टेट का अपना खुद का टैक्स था, यस और नो, ऑल ऑफ यू नो there is something payment that has to be made while goods making entry to the state in the gate, yes or no. So जीएसटी इम्प्लीमेंट के कारण स्टेट का जो नुकसान हुआ है स्टेट रेवेन्यू पे, वो भरपाई करने के लिए ये बनाया गया है जीएसटी compensation to states act. Okay, what is GST? So GST compensation had very taxes left on luxury seen and demerit goods over and above the 28% tax. Okay, what is GST? GST is a comprehensive indirect tax left on the supply of goods and services. It is a value added tax. Always remember GST is a value added tax. So it has been implemented with the help of 101 Constitutional Amendment Act in 2017. Now, taking a few minutes, we will have a look on luxury seen and demerits goods. So what is luxury goods? Goods which non-essential but deemed as highly desirable within a culture or society. For example, sports utility vehicle, SUV. Yes or no? Next, sin goods, goods which are considered harmful, obviously. Demerit goods, goods that consumer like but are actually harmful, obviously. Next, key features of GST. So GST's tax slab is obviously, please have a look on this year's budget because there are some changes on the tax slab, so please have a look on those. So tax slab previously was 0%, 5%, 12%, 18% and 28%. Dual structure, that is central GST, state GST and integrated GST. Central GST, I hope know what is being implemented by the central. State GST is for state and IGST is combined, means between the states. One nation, one tax. The main purpose is to implement one nation, one tax. For governance, GST Council has been set up and goods and service tax network has been set up. So GST is basically a destination based tax. GST is basically a destination based tax. Now about GST Council, it is a constitutional body. Always remember GST Council is a constitutional body. Now how you know it is a constitutional body? Because GST has been implemented with the help of 101 Constitutional Amendment Act. So it has been established or it has been brought into force with the help of constitution. So it is a constitutional body under Article 279A. I hope all of you know what is Article 280. If no, please give an answer on the comment section. Constituted by President with Union Finance Minister as chairperson. So in the GST, who is the chairperson? Is the Union's Finance Minister. Decision making. A decision requires a 3/4 majority of the weighted vote. The states collectively 2/3 voting, while center has 1/3. So decision making, in case of decision making, the 3/4 majority is required to pass or to take any decision, under which 2/3 power lies with states and 1/3 with center. What is GST Appellate Tribunal? It is the second appellate tribunal authority established under central GST for hearing appeals against order passed by the appellate authority under GST and state GST acts. So all of you know appellate means if any kind of grievances or any kind of mismatch happened, so where you have to approach? You have to approach on the GST or the GST for appellate authority, and then the second appellate lies on GST Appellate Tribunal. So next is principal bench. Principal bench shall be provided by the president and shall consist of two technical members. One is from center and another from state. GST Act. What is that? President is appointed by the governor. GST Act president is appointed by the government after consultation with the Chief Justice of India. It is GST Administrative Tribunal. Okay. How it is appointed? It is appointed by the government after consultation with the Chief Justice of India and his or her nominee for a tenure of 3 years. So what is excise duty? Excise duty is a type of indirect tax which is applicable on the goods manufactured in India and used for the consumption within India. So Central Bureaus of Excise and Customs are there. Okay. Next is, so one is state excise duty. Excise duty on alcohol, alcoholic preparation, and narcotic substance is now collected by the state government and is called state excise duty. So which is the excise duty that is collected by the state are called state excise duty. Now what is inverted duty structure? What is that? So Ministry of Commerce and Industry shared certain items to Ministry of Finance to address inverted duty structure. What is this? So who has raised this concern? Ministry of Commerce and Industry. So about inverted duty structure, it refers to situation where import duties on input goods are higher than on finished goods. Now what is this? What is this? Now for example, say a manufacturer, for example, say Tata Company has imported some of the materials or cheap products, cheap for manufacturing vehicle from outside the country. Now on that cheap, he has to bear, for example, say on an around 100 as tax, whereas on goods, on the vehicle, the tax is charged only ₹80. So यहाँ पे क्या बोलना चाह रहा है कि इंपोर्ट करने के लिए जो चीज़ मैं फाइनल गुड्स बनाने के लिए जो चीज़ मुझे चाहिए, तो उसे इंपोर्ट करने के लिए मुझे टैक्स ज़्यादा देना पड़ रहा है, और इसके अगेंस्ट जब मैं मैन्युफैक्चर कंप्लीट कर रहा हूँ उसमें टैक्स कम लग रहा है. तो यही बोला गया इनवर्टेड ड्यूटी स्ट्रक्चर. उनका मतलब ये है कि फाइनल गुड्स में तो ज़्यादा टैक्स होना चाहिए ना, किसकी तुलना पे? इंपोर्टेड गुड्स की तुलना पे. ठीक है, अगर मैं एक सामान बना रहा हूँ, बनाने के लिए कोई चीज़ चाहिए तो मैंने उसे मंगाया है बाहर से, तो उसमें तो कम होना चाहिए ना, उसमें कम होना चाहिए. फॉर एग्जाम्पल देख लो, मैं बोल रहा हूँ ये एक चीज़ है ए मैन्युफैक्चर्ड. ओके, सो इसे बनाने के लिए क्या होना चाहिए? फॉर एग्जाम्पल से आई रिक्वायर एक गुड्स है, उसे बनाने के लिए मुझे क्या चाहिए? बी एंड सी चाहिए, दो चाहिए. ठीक है, मैंने क्या बी और सी बाहर से मंगाया, मैंने उसके ऊपर जीएसटी दिया है. तो दोनों के ऊपर जीएसटी जब मैंने दिया तो मुझे लगा लगभग ₹200 मैंने क्या दिया? जीएसटी. तब मुझे क्या पता होना चाहिए कि अगर मैं बी और सी में अगर जीएसटी 200 देता हूं तो ए पे और ज़्यादा देना चाहिए ना. पर यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है, मुझे ए पे सिर्फ ₹180 जीएसटी देना पड़ रहा है, जबकि मैंने ए बनाया है बी और सी के द्वारा. अभी समझ में आया कि इंपोर्ट करने पे ज़्यादा टैक्स लग रहा है, जबकि मैं जब फिनिश गुड्स लेता हूं तब उसमें जीएसटी कम लग रहा है. तो इसका मुनाफा कहाँ मिला? सो इनवर्टेड ड्यूटी स्ट्रक्चर क्या बोल सकते हैं? ये एक खराब है, ये चीज़ खराब है. ठीक है, क्योंकि ये मैन्युफैक्चरर को क्या बोल इंपॉर्टेंस नहीं देगा, क्योंकि तब लोग ज़्यादा इंपोर्ट करना या फिर फिनिश गुड्स इंपोर्ट करने में लग जाएंगे, मैन्युफैक्चर पे नहीं लगेंगे. So next, long-term capital gains and indexation benefits. What is long-term capital gains? Lok Sabha cleared the finance bill and amending long-term capital gains tax provisions on immovable properties. So what is capital gain tax? For example, the type of capital gain tax is short-term capital gain tax and long-term capital gain tax. So this short-term and long-term basically depends on holding period. How many times we hold, for how much time. So less than 24 months real estate. If more than 36 months, immovable assets is long term. Less than 12 months, securities such as stocks and mutual funds. Less than 12 months. All of you remember real estate 24 months and 12 months is short term capital gains. Less than 12 months, securities or stocks and mutual funds. If more than 12 months, equity shares and listed, these are all comes under long term capital. More than 12 months, immovable property. So there is something, please have a look on those. अच्छा, चॉइस ऑफ टैक्स पेयर्स. अर्लियर क्या होता था? 20% ऑफ LTCGS मीन्स लॉन्ग टर्म कैपिटल गेंस लगता था, पर अब क्या हो गया? 12.5% विदाउट इंडेक्सेशन. सो मूविंग टू द नेक्स्ट, इनहेरिटेंस टैक्स. तो इनहेरिटेंस टैक्स, जब हम प्रॉपर्टी इनहेरिट करते हैं तो उसमें क्या लगता है, देखते हैं. पेपर टाइटल टुवर्ड्स टैक्स जस्टिस एंड वेल्थ रिडिस्ट्रीब्यूशन इन इंडिया released by World Inequality Lab proposes wealth tax and inheritance tax on rich to address inequality in India. What is inheritance tax? Inheritance tax is lived on property or asset inherited upon an individual's death. It differs from estate tax, which is levied on the total revenue of a deceased person's estate. सो इनहेरिटेंस टैक्स कब कैसे लगता है, जैसे कि पकड़ लो ए और बी है, ठीक है, ए और बी समहाउ रिलेटेड टू वन अनदर। जब ए मर गया तब ए का संपत्ति किसके पास चला गया, इनहेरिटेंस कौन किया, बी ने कर लिया। तो जो प्रॉपर्टी लिया उसको हम क्या कहते हैं, इनहेरिट किया है, और उसके ऊपर जब टैक्स लगता है उसे हम कहते हैं इनहेरिटेंस टैक्स। उसी तरह एस्टेट टैक्स भी है, एस्टेट टैक्स। पर एस्टेट टैक्स ये नहीं है कि मैं जो प्रॉपर्टी इनहेरिट की उसमें टैक्स, ऐसा नहीं है। एस्टेट टैक्स क्या होता है, मेरा साम टोटल जितना प्रॉपर्टी है, मेरा साम टोटल जितना प्रॉपर्टी है उसमें जो टैक्स लगता है उसे हम कहते हैं एस्टेट टैक्स। ओके, so in India there is no inheritance tax. Please remember, in India there is no such tax. Similar to estate tax, gift tax and wealth tax are imposed in India. Yes, gift tax and wealth tax है हमारे पास, पर inheritance tax इंडिया पे नहीं है। So next is, अच्छा, one is inequality index, commitment to reducing inequality index. India ranked 127 out of 164 countries in the index released by Oxfam and Development Finance International. So please remember, in case of inequality index stands 127 out of 164 countries. Next, advanced pricing mechanism या फिर agreements. So advanced pricing agreements are an agreement between a taxpayer and a tax authority. They endeavor to provide a certainty to taxpayers in domain of transfer pricing by specifying methods of pricing. Is the price of goods and services exchanged between companies that are under common ownership of control. So who assigned Central Board of Direct Tax. So why advanced pricing agreement is that, for example, say this is it between taxpayer and tax authority. So how, for example, taxpayer for example say A, whereas B is the tax authority. So A makes an agreement with B that I will pay a lump sum of this much tax in advance. Okay, या फिर so in this situation the tax will be concluded on this and nothing extra tax will be charged. So types of advancing pricing agreement is that unilateral, it involves only the taxpayers and tax authority of their country. Bilateral, अच्छा, so the scheme is voluntarily and supplements appeal and other double taxation avoidance. Terms of advanced pricing agreement maximum 5 years. So Central Board of Directors, please read it. This is a statutory body. Double taxation avoidance agreement. India and Mauritius signed double taxation avoidance agreement. Now, why there is a requirement of signing a double taxation avoidance agreement? For example, say many companies are such that to avoid India's taxation system, they have set up in Mauritius and many other countries. So what India did is that, if yes, you manufacture many kind of goods in the outside of, but when these goods will enter to my India, I will charge again, to such that these goods become same as to the goods that are present in the Indian market. So to avoid this agreement, India and Mauritius has signed. So what is this? So India and please remember, the double taxation avoidance agreement has been signed between India and Mauritius. Amendment included principal purpose test to avail tax benefit under DTA. So what is this? How can they avail this double taxation avoidance agreement? Only when the principal purpose test will be passed on those. PPT lays out the condition that the tax benefit under TT will not be applicable if obtaining the duty benefits was the principal purpose. Amendment DTA made it compliant with the base erosions and profit shifting minimum standards. So what is this agreement? It promotes cross-border investment by reducing tax burden on foreign investors and ensures equitable allocations of right to tax between the source and residence countries. So if this is signed, then it will be very much beneficial to the investor as well as the person who is manufacturing or producing. UN Global Tax Treaty. UN's ad hoc committee to draft terms of references as approved package of guidance for the More on the news. It aims at establishing UN Global Tax Treaty to legitimate fair, stable, and inclusive and effective international taxation system. Other global initiative for global tax preventing tax avoidance. One is OECD Global Minimum Tax, OECD G20 Inclusive Framework, and BAPS. So these are the things, multilateral conventions to implement tax treaty related measures to prevent taxation. So please have a look on those underlined words. No need to look much. Next is other key developments. Duty drawback. What is duty drawback? The Central Board of Indirect Tax and Tax Customs will electronically disburse duty drawback amounts directly to the exporters' bank's accounts using the public finance management system. So one is that duty drawback means they will disburse some amount to the exporters' bank's account. Exporters' bank's account. So duty drawback under section 75 of the Customs Act evades custom duty chargeable on any imported materials और एक्सेसिबल मटेरियल यूज इन द मैन्युफैक्चर ऑफ एक्सपोर्ट गुड्स. फॉर एग्जांपल मैंने क्या किया, मैंने एक चीज़ बनाने के लिए दूसरे देश से कोई इंटरमीडिएट गुड्स इंपोर्ट किया है, वो इंटरमीडिएट गुड्स मैंने फाइनल गुड्स मैन्युफैक्चर करने के लिए लगाया है. तो जब मैंने लगाया है, फॉर एग्जांपल से मैंने एक सामान बी लाया कहाँ से, फॉर एग्जांपल से यूएस से, क्या बनाने के लिए, ए बनाने के लिए. ठीक है. सो ए कहाँ बनाए, ए इंडिया पे बनाए. ए कहाँ बनाए, इंडिया पे. मैंने बी लाया है ए बनाने के लिए, और ए बनाया किस लिए, मैंने सोचा ये यूके पे भेज दूँ. कहाँ पे भेजूँ, यूके पे. तो मेरा अल्टीमेट पर्पस क्या था, एक्सपोर्ट करना ही था ना. तब मैंने जब इंपोर्ट किया था बी, उस पर कुछ टैक्स लगाता, तो वो टैक्स माफ़ हो जाएगा. वो टैक्स क्या हो जाएगा, माफ़ हो जाएगा. कब, जब मैं ये चीज़ एक्सपोर्ट करने के लिए बनाऊंगा. तो इसका मतलब है ड्यूटी ड्रॉबैक. आई होप ऑल ऑफ यू अंडरस्टूड. ओके. तो CBIC मीन्स कैंसल बोर्ड ऑफ इनडायरेक्ट टैक्स एंड कस्टम्स is a part of Department of Revenue under the Union Ministry of Finance. Under Union Ministry of Finance. Please remember, under Union Ministry of Finance. Next is windfall tax. Now, what is windfall tax? The center has reduced the windfall tax on domestically produced crude oil. So, what is windfall tax? See, due to sudden change in structure, the investor or the manufacturer may earn a huge amount of profit or abnormal profit. So, in this situation, to counter the inflation that might arise, the government charges windfall tax, means sudden increase in tax. Okay. And windfall tax is a tax imposed by the government on certain industries that experiences a significantly above average profit due to favorable economic condition. Now I will make you understand why this has been charged and what is the necessity of charging this. For example, say a sudden boom has happened in the market. All the manufacturers are earning abnormal profit. What they are earning? Abnormal profit. So abnormal profit matlab money supply has increased. Yes or no? So to counter this money supply, see, if money supply is increased, then automatically the inflation will increase. So to counter this inflation, the government charges extra tax on those goods, and that is called windfall tax. Now I was able to understand. Now to counter this inflation, the government charges windfall tax on those goods. Okay, so to prevent increase in money supply and to prevent the increase in inflation. Okay, next, payment system and financial market. So digital public infrastructure. So the reports of India's G20 task force on DPI. So who has released this report is G20. Okay, G20 India's G20 task force on digital public infrastructure. What is the highlight? It is setup of shared digital system that should be secure and interoperable, can be built on open standards and specification, are governed by applicable legal frameworks. So what is India's DPI? So DPI is what? Digital public infrastructure. What it means that each and every informations which can be used by other countries or any person or any public or any citizen are made accessible here. So India Stack is also a digital public infrastructure where information are available in the identity layer, payment layer, and data governance. Various kind of data are stored here. Initiative for Global Advancement of DPI. One Future Alliance. It is a voluntary initiative proposed by G20. India's presidency aimed to build capacity to provide technical assistance and adequate funding support for implementation of DPI in low and middle income countries. So this is the Indian initiatives, Global DPI Repository and UA Trade Technology Councils. Now next is Unified Payment Interface, UPI, that everyone or most of us use. So NPCI, National Payment Corporation India International Payment Limited, NIPL, has partnered with Trinidad and Tobago to develop unified payment interface like payment system to advance the internationalizations of UPI. So other countries which supports UPI are Sri Lanka, Mauritius, France, UAE, Singapore, Bhutan, and Nepal. I hope everyone you have read this in the earlier year. So in this current situation, India is going to sign this UPI agreement with Trinidad and Tobago to develop unified payment interfaces. So UPI is a real-time payment system. So what is real-time and nominal time? Real-time is that now I want to send and at a time the payment get to the beneficiary's account. For example, what happened to the earlier situation is that if I suppose to send 10,000 to some person say B, or some person says C, who is staying in Delhi and I am staying in Assam. So what I used to do, I used to go to the bank, I will write a draft and then I will submit it to the bank. Bank will send this draft to the beneficiary's bank and it will take around 1 week or 2 weeks. Okay, so this is nominal. Okay, and what is real time? Real time is that I just initiated payment and it automatically got into the beneficiary's account within the same period of time without taking any extra time. This is called real time benefits. So NPCI, National Payment Corporation of India, is an umbrella organization for operating all retail payments and settlement system. Next, unique features of, please read these. These are all simple one. So variants of UPI. One is UPI 123 Pay. What is UPI 123 Pay? Started in March 2020 to enable feature phone users to use UPI. It is available in 12 languages. Technological started include IVR number and app function, missed calls and proximity sound-based payments. RBI enhanced the transaction limit from 5,000 to 10,000. So UPI 123 is a first when UPI was launched. Okay. So in this time, not all everyone can use, but now it is made simple. Now UPI Lite, which is now we are using it. Okay. Next, initiatives for internationalization of UPI. So what are the initiatives that has been taken as setting up of NPCI International Payment Limited. Next, UPI Global Acceptance, International Merchant Payments, Foreign Inward Remittance, Inclusion of Non-Resident India's UPI One World. Now, what is Project Nexus? Project Nexus is why in the news? Because Reserve Bank of India joins Project Nexus. So, what is Project Nexus? Project Nexus is an multilateral international initiative to enable instant cross-border retail payment by interlinking domestic instant payment system. So Project Nexus is between the two countries who are likely to share payments amongst others. Okay, next, Securities and Exchange Board of India. I hope everyone knows and knew something about SEBI. Security Exchange Board of India issued foreign venture capital investors regulation to amend existing SEBI foreign venture capital investor regulation 2000. So there something amendment has been made to foreign venture capital investors. So what is this? So foreign venture capital investor is an investor incorporated outside India, registered under FVCI. FVCI make investment in venture capital funds or venture capital undertakings in India. Venture capital is used high risk sector. Okay. So what is foreign venture capital investor? So foreign venture capital investor is someone who is outside India and likely to invest in India. So at that time, what he needs to do, he has to register. Okay, he has to register. So see, what are the key highlights in the new regulation? It requires foreign venture capital investor applicant to obtain a registration certificate from designated depository participant before dealing with FVCI. So designated depository participant may be any bank authorized by SEBI. Okay. Broaden eligibility criteria is for with some conditions from existing like investment company pension funds to resident NRI or OCIs. So please have a read on the Security Exchange Board of India. So Security Exchange Board of India constitutes a non-statutory body in 1988 through a resolution of Government of India, established as a statutory body in 1992 and SEBI Act 1992. Objective is to promote the interest of the investors. What are the functions? To protect the interest of the investor, to regulate the business operations, providing a regulatory platform for stockholders, prohibiting fraudulent and unfair trade practices in inside trading, to educate investors about the securities market. Next, recent initiatives of SEBI scores 2.0. What is that? To redress the investors' complaint within 21 calendar day. So what is this? 21 calendar. Within 21 calendar day, the redressal or any kind of grievance will be settled. Next, is prohibition of insider trading regulation. Prohibition of insider trading regulation. SEBI amended regulation to give flexibility to insider traders for trading plans under PTI. Insiders have a narrow window to carry out traders to avoid insider trading. Credit default swap. What is credit default swap? A financial derivative that lets an investor transfer a credit risk to another party. In this situation, what happens is that I suppose I took a loan from a bank. Now, what the bank will do? Bank will just reshuffle or will shift this burden of risk to another company. Okay. Next is pump and dump scheme. What is this pump and dump scheme? SEBI banned individual for operating pump and dump scheme. It is a manipulation activity involving artificially inflating a stock price through false and misleading information and recommendation. Now, what is pump and dump scheme? Is that SEBI that is many a times what the investors does is that investors what happens what they do that they mislead some informations in the market, and due to this information the stock price may boost. In this situation many makes a profit. So to prevent this kind of fraudulent activities, SEBI has launched a pump dump scheme. Exchange traded funds clearing corporation. Next, finfluencer. What is finfluencer? Financial influencer. Okay, so fin influencer you have to read like this: financial influencer. So what is fin influencer? Is a person sharing financial advice on topics like stock trading, mutual funds and insurance, primarily via social media. Many times you find many advertisement or many kind of videos has been released in the YouTube and even on the many other kinds of media. They are highlighting the price of the stocks, okay, in advance. Okay, so what are they are the financial influencer. Next is settlement cycle. Securities and Exchange Board of India introduced a beta version T plus O rolling settlement cycle on optional basis in addition to an existing T plus 1 settlement cycle in stock market. So what is T plus 1 and T plus 0 settlement cycle? T plus 0 is that the settlement will take place within this specific period and not taking any additional day, whereas T plus 1 settlement is that within 1 day. It will take 1 day to settle, and T0 is no time. In a real time the settlement will take place. Okay. Benefits of shortened settlement cycle: enhanced liquidity management, increasing trading opportunities and global competitiveness. National Stock Exchange headquarters is Mumbai. So SEBI has approved 10 times hike in NSE. So this is nothing. India's largest stock exchange by market cap is National Stock Exchange. Nifty, the largest stock exchange. Co-location or proximity hosting. What is co-location or proximity? It allows a broker to place their servers on the premise of the stock exchange for a fee. Due to their proximity to the stock exchange servers, they provide faster price feeds, quicker execution trades, and leading to. What is that? What is it? Is that collection of proximity? Okay, many a times we make, for example, say we are in a home and trading. Okay, many times what we do is that we select the stock, and at the moment the price decline, we give order. But the traffic is so much that the order does not get executed in the real time. Okay, so to take this benefit, many traders are such that they set their device on the in the SEBI itself. Okay, so that when the decision has been taken, so they at a time they can execute the order. Okay, so financialization. What is India needs to be cautioned against excessive financialization, achieve economic leverage. What is financialization? Financialization is a process where financial market and financial institutions and financial allies gain greater influence over economic policies and economic outcomes. So uh, financialization is that is it generally generates inequality among the people, whereby many a times you will see that the people are moving out. Okay, or people are taking out their money, and investing in some others. Okay, they are financializing themselves. Indian revenue derivatives market. I hope you know derivative market. There are four types of derivative market: future, forwards, option, and swaps. What is futures? Buy and sell assets at a set price. Means something we are thinking or we are predicting that the price may be this, so we will be selling those stocks at this price. So these futures. Forward involves physical asset deliveries. Options, holders right the obligation to trade at a preset price. Swaps. Next is credit rating agency. So there are some credit rating agency. One is CARE. CARE has become the first Indian credit agency to enter global scale rating. So CareEdge is the Indian credit rating agency. Please remember. I hope everyone knows about what are the functions of the credit rating agency. So some of the credit rating agency as registered with SEBI are Equit, Crisil, ICRA, Care, India Ratings, Informatics, and Brickwork. And what is India's credit rating that has been for the first time entered into the global scale rating is the Care Edge. Okay. So sovereign credit ratings. Other key development like Infrastructure Investment Trust, InvIT Infrastructure Investment Trust. The new norms allow the issuance of the subordinate units by privately placed investments, infrastructure investment trust, only to the sponsor on acquisition of infrastructure products. So, what is InvITs or Infrastructure Investment Trust? Is a type of investment vehicle similar to mutual fund that allows investors to invest in the infrastructure projects like toll roads, power lines, and pipelines. So, with the help of InvIT, the same year we invest in the mutual fund, the same year you can invest on the projects in the physical format, like in many in any place something say road has been going in construction or toll place. So in this situation you can invest in the process. Okay. Next, Investor Education and Protection Fund Authority. So IPF has launched a toll-free number 14453 to better serve claimants and queries. So it is under the aegis of Ministry of Corporate Affairs, Investor Education and Protection Fund Authority. Please remember, it is under the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, not Ministry of Education. Okay. Next, front running. A mutual fund is elected to have indulged in front running. What is front running? Front running refers to the usage of non-public information to directly or indirectly buy or sell securities or to enter into options or future contracts in advance of a substantial order. Front running is that many times many kinds of information get leaked, okay, without any proper formal channel. For example, say private trading, you can say it is also a private trading. So क्या होता है इसमें कि कुछ इन्फॉर्मेशन अभी भी कंपनी ने डिस्क्लोज नहीं किया है, पर कंपनी के अंदर जो लोग होते हैं वो लोग क्या करते हैं, वो उस इन्फॉर्मेशन को बाहर आके दे देते हैं और इसका फ़ायदा लेने के लिए इन्वेस्टर क्या करते हैं, पहले से स्टॉक सेल कर देते हैं या फिर परचेज कर देते हैं, ताकि जब डिसीजन देंगे कंपनी तब प्राइस हाइक हो जाएगा और मुनाफा उनको मिल जाएगा. ठीक है. सो इंडियाज वोलेटिलिटी इंडेक्स. व्हाट इज इंडियाज वोलेटिलिटी इंडेक्स? सो इंडियाज वोलेटिलिटी इंडेक्स हैज अबाउट द क्रिटिकल थ्रेशोल्ड ऑफ 21, highlighted volatility in India's stock market. So volatility in India's market is that India's stock market is not stable. It is volatile. Next, FinInternet. Nandan Nelikani proposed the concept of FinInternet as a vision of a future financial system. What is FinInternet? It envisions interconnected financial ecosystem like the internet, empowering individuals and business by placing them at the center of their financial activities. So something like finance and internet at a stretch. Perpetual bonds. India's first additional Tier 1 perpetual bond was issued after the recent rule changes to make them more appealing. They are fundraising instruments and they do not carry any maturity dates as bonds usually do. So obviously from the name you can say perpetual, which can continue for a long time. Participatory notes, you know everyone. Indian International Bullion Exchange. State Bank of India has become the first trading cum clearing member at India International Bullion Exchange. So it is State Bank of India. So IIVX has been established as GIFT International Finance Service. Where is that? It is in Gujarat. Carry trade. What is carry trade? Yen carry trade has been in focus in the past few trading sessions in the wake of the sell-off in the shares in the US technology gains. About carry trade, a carry trade is an investment strategy most often associated with foreign currency trading. So carry trading is often related to the foreign currency trading. So in next video we'll be coming with the topic 4, external sector. Okay, I hope all of you have understood or all of you have underlined the main section 1. So today I am keeping up to this, and please, if you have not shared the video, please share among your favored ones, and please do subscribe and comment if any. Thank you and have a good day.